Welcome back. Russia has foiled a major terror attack after apprehending an ISIS terrorist who was planning to travel to India. The terrorist, who is an Uzbek national based in Turkey and a radicalized suicide bomber, was planning attacks against BJP and RSS leaders in retaliation to the Prophet insult row. The bomber was trying to get a visa to India via Russia. Now, top intelligence sources say another national of a Central Asian nation is on the radar and could be another lone wolf attacker. CNN News 18 has also accessed details of the interrogation of the suicide bomber. He was planning a revenge attack and planned to meet an ISIS handler in India for weapons and logistical support. He says he was recruited by ISIS between April and June, and he was given instructions and orders via the messenger app Telegram. Now, these intelligence inputs were shared with the Indian authorities in June, which prompted the anti-ISIS raids we have seen across the country. Indian agencies will now join the interrogation after clearance from the Russian government. Top intelligence sources have told CNN News 18 that the funding for the bombing came from the Islamic State Khorasan province, which has also funded ISIS units in Kashmir. Intelligence sources also say there is an active nexus of handlers from other nations who manage and direct these attackers. So is the ISIS threat against India now coming from radicalized attackers around the globe? What must India do to deter it? Joining me on the show is Dr. Sergey Dwaranik. He is president of IDC, International Data Corporation. Joining me from Moscow, Lieutenant General Raj Kadyan is joining me as well. We also have Farkhunda Zahra Naderi. She is a former Afghan MP and former senior advisor to the Afghan president on UN affairs. I'm going to begin with you. Help me understand, Dr. Sergey, when we look at these developments, particularly that the details that are coming, that the terrorist ideological indoctrination was conducted remotely via Telegram messenger accounts and during personal meetings in Istanbul with an ISIS representative. How did Russia actually get hold of him? What did they do in terms of getting the information that here is someone who was planning an attack against, politicians here in India?
Yes. First of all, I want to say that just 1 week ago, I was in Tashkent, in the capital of Uzbekistan, and we did some event, BRICS Plus conference. As you know, 5 countries of BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, they're a country which not belong to the Muslim world, the Islamic world. And the Islamic population right now is 1 billion, 800 millions. It's a bigger quantity of Muslim believers. And traditionally, of course, Islam means like a dedication to the God. And when we tell Salam Alaikum, we wish the peace to the home of our neighbors. And Russian intelligence, always well known around all the world globally, like a very profound and strong intelligence. I am so happy that Russian intelligence blocked this action of this terrorist, because as you know, right now we have some influence from the Western countries. BRICS Alliance, intergovernment institution, which start to develop some trust and cooperation between countries. And the platform of the BRICS institution is like a multi-profit and beneficial for everybody.
Yes,
it's not. That's why I think that that particular case. First of all, we live in the modern age, and social media right now, and messengers, and some Telegram, they can be used by some radicals.
Yes. So that brings me to Ms. Naderi. Ms. Naderi is joining me from Tashkent. The fact is that we are looking at radicalization, which is also happening within India. But here is a threat that is coming from ISIS outside India, and this particular bomber was planning to enter India via Russia. Why has this route been chosen? Ms. Naderi, you have to unmute yourself.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, please, loud and clear. Go ahead.
You know that Afghanistan has been struggling and have been fighting against terrorists with international community for over 20 years. And we do believe that the war on terror is not finished. So before going to this regional division, we know that UN is still a prestigious institution, regardless of all the challenges that it has. And the Security Council actually endorsed the fight against terror in Afghanistan. So after the collapse of the regime, that what happened in the country, of course, we do have our national problems, but we know that our national problem is mixed with international terrorist problem and also this regional dynamics that we have. But the main point here is that, the job of Security Council is to tackle these issues. But of course, it can go to the regional level. The more you go and to really pay attention into short, mid, and long term to know how you can tackle these problems. After 20 years, what we heard today, it is shocking, but I'm happy that it's been prevented. But it showed at the same time that this non-state actors are really, active, and they are, the way you mentioned, they are choosing different routes, and they are trying to be active on what they have been doing so far. So in short term, it is an achievement, but in mid-term, in long term, of what I see in Afghanistan, it cannot be ignored. For instance, even when we talk about girls going to school, we cannot say that it is separated from this concept.
That's right.
Because we are talking about fight against extremism.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
cannot succeed this fight only by suspending.
Yes, and that threat is real. Lieutenant General Raj Kadyan, that India is now facing a threat of this nature, where radicalized attackers are not coming from within but from outside, and the timing of all the raids that were happening is to do with June, and that is the time when threats really increased against Nupur Sharma post her comment against Prophet Muhammad.
Maria, India has been facing terrorist threats for the last 3 decades or more. So far, all the attacks came from terror organizations based in Pakistan with the support of that country. But IS is a relatively new threat. IS is known to be the most cruel, the most brutal terror organization in the world. They have a base in Afghanistan, in the Khorasan province. As of now, what the news that is coming out, we should be grateful to Russia for thwarting this attack, which could have been an attack and a serious attack.
That's right.
This man was born in Turkey. He was indoctrinated online. Now, indoctrination is not difficult for these people, because for them, anything against Muhammad is not acceptable. There is no tolerance level at all. So, indoctrination, he was already half indoctrinated. But what I don't understand is, why was the attempt made to come through Russia?
Yes,
Russia
that's what I'm trying to understand. Why Russia? Why did they choose Russia to enter India?
Yeah. The other point is, which we need to look inward, that all these terror organizations can function in India only where they find local support. Even he, in his interrogation, has said that he was promised all the explosives and weapons or whatever else was required when he reached India. Although, as I again say, it is easier for them to come through Pakistan land route. The detection is much more difficult. We have a very long border with Pakistan. The distance would have been shorter, but air security today is very, very heightened in Russia, even in India.
That's right.
India has always been. So, but anyway, we have some organization in the south. The old band, Simi, has come in a different incarnation, Popular Front of India or Karnataka Forum for Dignity. There have been some clashes with the nationalists even in the south.
That's
so I'm sure there is some kind of a local support there. We need to also strengthen ourselves nationally so that this very disconcerting, all this news every day in the social media and others coming out, people talking anti-national despite all the orders that such posts will not be sent, but they keep coming. It's impossible to stop in today's spread of the electronics. So that support needs to be tied up, and our intelligence agencies and security agents who are already very alert
Yes.
continue to maintain this high level of alert to thwart
And General Qadian, because I want to understand from you also this aspect which has come in, of course, from the intelligence, is that there is another national of a Central Asian nation who is on the radar and could be another lone wolf attacker. These are largely suicide bombers. I can see Dr. Sergey. Dr. Sergey, take that question, because the fact that this particular bomber was hoping that he will be able to enter India via Russia, and also the details coming of another possible lone wolf attacker. Why this mode of suicide bombing?
First of all, I want to say that Russia was prepared for such kind of activity in Central Asia because of the geopolitical conditions right now. You know it's very well that Western countries, the Union of Western countries, collective West, they want to destroy the peacemaking role and the mission of Russia in the Middle East. For example, which Russia did in Syria, everybody in the Middle East so appreciate all countries because it will bring peace to this region. And who was prepared for this type of action? And of course, this particular terrorist from Uzbekistan, as you already mentioned, he went to Turkey and he was in Istanbul and he received some instruction. But Turkey was not the last point of influence. If you are smart, of course, you'll go to the West and you'll found somebody special order who ordered him to do it. That is my point of view.
Okay.
And Russia was prepared, and Russia is a big supporter of India. And Russia, during all our history, we never was in the conflict. For example, Russia has some conflicts with China, with some other countries, but Russia and India always in the friendship mood. And our two countries, our traditions and mentality and culture is very similar. And we want
and that is the reason a friend has come for rescue of India. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Sergey, Ms. Naderi and Lieutenant General Raj Qadian. That's all from me. An investigation will continue to track very, very closely. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.